Hi, I'm just gonna be um painting Warhammer figures and chatting a little bit about idle games today. If it's not your thing, I understand. Maybe the next one will be. Okay, let's get into it. I'm gonna have to turn my light up a bit so that I can see my figures later. I apologize. It's gonna kind of like blow my face out a little, but I don't have my magnifying light set up, so I'm gonna use the softbox to see what I'm doing with the painting a little bit better. I really should have just closed my window because it's like a really sunny day. I don't know. I still need to figure out camera settings. But I'm doing my best here. Okay. Um, Let me get into it. So I'm still doing the base coats of paints on my plague bearers. These will be summons for a death guard. I'm trying to build up my death guard army. Um, this is I don't know. It's just a nice change of pace, and I think the play style kind of suits me a little, and I think the figures are really interesting and have a lot of good details. So I've just wanted to paint them for a long time. So I'm happy to have an excuse to work on them. Okay, so in 2002, um, games. Oh, all right. I almost started. I haven't set up my wet palette. 1 second. Okay. Oh, my setup is a little scuffed. I'm gonna move my mouse out of the way now that I've started recording. Here we go. Okay. Well, I just can't find a good spot for everything. So I'll start over. I don't think I got very far into it anyway. Um, in response to the popularity of the MMOs at the time, RuneScape in particular, right? There was a game developer who noticed that that people would just level up kind of useless skills like the campfire skill, or catch a bunch of fish and then like level cooking and that sort of stuff. So he came up with a game called Progress Quest, uh, because a lot of people, when they were leveling these skills, would get a little bored at the repetitive nature of them, and basically bought them, right? And he was bothered by the idea of people not playing a game. In Progress Quest, it was essentially a spreadsheet. You created a character, and then after that, the game kind of played itself, right? And it's considered one of the first idle games because you would load it up and watch number go up, right? And there's something inherently satisfying about gradual progress, about working towards a goal and eventually reaching it and setting new bigger goals, right? There's something just appealing to to the human condition about that. Like, and more a few more idle games were made, but they didn't really pick up um for about 10 more years until there were sites like Congregate, where they had a lot of browser-based indie games, and that's really when the popularity of idle games started taking off. And there's I don't know, there's speculation on why they became popular, but I don't know, I believe the idea that that some people just focus better if they're multitasking, but they can't multitask in a way that takes their complete attention. So, with a game like Cookie Clicker, right? Um, at first, you have to click for cookies, but very quickly, you end up with a setup where you just get infinitely more cookies because of your cookie factories. You earn cookie interest in your cookie bank. You know, you've got your grandma's cooking them for you. You've got, the space time continuum dilation so that you can, you know, spawn new cookies from dark matter out of another cookie galaxy, right? Like, um, it was a it was a game that scaled to the point that it would never be worth your time to individually click for cookies anymore because there's just bigger and bigger sources of cookies, right? And it was such a simple concept, right? You click and get a cookie, and then it kind of like got a little crazy where you were getting billions of cookies every few seconds, right? But I mean, again, some of the more popular idle games were meant to be a parody, right? During the time that Farmville and other like Zynga games were popular on Facebook, there was a game called Cow Clicker, and it let you click a cow once every 6 hours. Single click, come back in 6 hours and click it again. And they were supposed to like be kind of a parody of the popularity of Farmville, right? And you can think like as somebody that doesn't play those, like, well, they can't possibly have been that popular, but no, I mean I saw I saw the most just the absolute strangest thing. There was this woman who had a multiple monitor setup because she had several accounts um like set up to have like a Farmville botting kind of empire. She like got really into Farmville, and she wasn't the only one. She was just one of the more extreme cases that you ended up seeing because there is just something intrinsically rewarding, addictive. I don't know the right word for it about games that offer continual gradual progress and feel rewarding. And sometimes I wonder, excuse me, sometimes I wonder if our brain can distinguish earned or earned from unearned rewards. I don't believe it can. I think that getting a thing feels good. And I I suppose there's some people that get sort of like a different kind of satisfaction. Like people that enjoy like scamming or something, right? They feel better knowing that they didn't earn the thing, even though they're they still put in effort, even if it wasn't like, ethically sound effort. They put in efforts to get a thing and then they got a thing. But they feel like, they're getting over on somebody because they got a thing when they weren't supposed to. But I mean, they worked towards a thing and got it. So I've played Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, I think it's called. And there's some other games that are in the same vein. Uh like Dwarf Fortress once you get it set up, or Banished, I really like. Banished is like a city builder, right? But once you get to a certain point, you can just leave it running and watch the city that you built um, keep going and prosper, and the population grow, and everything fill in um, when you're not actively doing anything, right? Now, of course, you play it more efficiently if you're always doing something, if you're always giving them a new project to work on, or you're always expanding, or you're always refining the older areas to make sure that you're using them optimally to keep their travel down, because the less that your bannies, that's what people are called in that game, the less they travel, the more efficiently they'll spend their day. And, the more labor they do, the better it is for everybody, right? So you always want to keep their routes optimal so they're spending the least part of their day traveling so that they can get the most work done. So, I mean, I don't know. I suppose I enjoy a lot of games that have idle aspects to them. And one of the things that I liked about like Idle Champions is that sometimes I can't play a game, right? I think it's the same reason that people watch Let's Plays or Twitch or something. They're in a situation where they can't play a game themselves, like they're listening at work or at school during a lecture, or maybe they're commuting. There's some reason that they can't physically play one themselves, and they don't really want to watch a show or listen to a podcast or anything else, right? They just want to kind of enjoy a game. I think that there's definitely like spillover between just sort of having somebody in the background on um, playing a game too, versus having a game on yourself. So the interesting thing is, there's actually idle games that were popular. I won't say popular, but I will say like there was a viewership for it. I suppose is a better way of saying it. So, there's a man that streams an idle game, um, without actually playing it. Like, as in, there is a viewership for somebody not playing a game themselves. Um, and it's, uh, the very first thought is, well, that's strange, right? But when you think about it, there is no functional difference between watching somebody else's idle game and playing it yourself, since neither you, the viewer, nor the person playing are actually interacting with the game. There's an argument that if you are not directly inputting, then you aren't playing the game. But, you know, there's a lot of games that allow botted progress, you know? Towards the end of its life, Star Wars Galaxies was okay with players using macros. So you could macro actions. Hand sampling was a big one, or if you were leveling like music or dancing for the entertainer career. But there were people that took it, there were people that ran macros in PvP, right? Because the biggest thing that they said was don't do it in an area where you are causing problems to other players. As in, don't don't bot yourself attacking the womp rats right outside of one of the starting planet cities because, you know, a new to the server or new player could have, needed those mobs and you're being a nuisance at that point. So basically, they were like, you can do it, but, if you get reported for being a nuisance, we'll action you. Which I thought was fair because, they weren't going to stop people. And they didn't want to put manpower into stopping people since, like Warcraft still hasn't figured out a way to stop botting. And it's, there were times where it had the resources too. So, but yeah, I wonder, is there really any difference between botting in a game versus playing a game that by design plays itself? You know, I never understood the point for content in a game that could be done without a player existing, but I have personally enjoyed it myself. Again, with like a city builder, like once I get it built, watching, kind of watching the payoff of the effort I put into the city running itself, like it's almost like testing how optimal of a setup I've created for them and seeing how well they can do based on my actions um, without constant input from me. So there is that. Um, and something that I don't know if this really falls in the same realm, but I can't not mention it while I'm talking about this is so uh a lot of Eastern multiplayer games, the gachas like the Genshins, Tower Fantasy, what's another one? Um there was one that just came out, Withering Waves, I think it's called, but I'm not sure. Right. Uh Honkai Star Rail. So games like that, even there was one that was like actually like just, it wasn't even some gotcha garbage. It was a just a normal like sword and board fantasy looking RPG. But it also had this, right? There's the ability to send your character, or in some cases your party of characters, into a dungeon to autoplay, like right in the game. There's a button. Like you just press the button and the game does the instance for you. Like it does the fight completely for you using your character's abilities, which makes a lot of sense in a gotcha game because, you didn't earn the power. And so like, of course you would want to just, watch it fight for you. I don't know. I can't understand the mind of the people that would enjoy that kind of stuff, right? But you know, I've seen it, and it wouldn't be becoming more popular in games if it wasn't well received by players, right? If nobody uses a system, it wouldn't continue to be put into new games. But I just wonder, like, is it something that has changed about us as like people or society where, we feel like we're not allowed to have any quiet moments or any downtime? Like we feel like we've always got to be doing something, like we're kind of hardwired at this point to multitask, and it feels like weirdly uncomfortable when we don't. Um, I know I can get that way sometimes where, I can't do something as simple as like clean the bathroom or like wash dishes or something like that without having music or a podcast or something in that vein on while I'm doing something. I or if I'm oil painting, I always have music or a show or a podcast or something going. Um, it just having something in the background helps me concentrate. Like I don't know, that's a lot of why I ever started watching YouTube, just to have some background noise on while I was doing other things. Um, so I can see having a game just in your other monitor that you're not actually playing, but still feeling like a sense of progress might help you like focus, like with working or having a show on or like a Twitch stream or video or something while you were playing a game on your main monitor. I don't know. I could see that. I okay. Um I've got a lot of this done. I really wish I could get further with these. Um but I guess I'm going to stop for now. I'm probably gonna do another one of these really soon. Maybe tomorrow. Because I'd really like to start getting to the detail layer of these. All right. Have a good one. Take care.